Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Hope you're doing well. We're running a little bit late, but we're here. And let's see who's here today. I'll take my banner down. Yeah. There's Sissy and brother-in-law. Hey, y'all. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Laverne. Good morning. Good morning, Kathy. Can you get in here, honey? Your pants are too big.
What?
And you can't get in.
What's too big?
Your pants.
Oh.
And you can't get in. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Dee Dee and George. Good morning, John Greason. Hello, Yvette King. How are you, Yvette, this morning? Hope you guys are well. Let me know if you're hearing, seeing us clearly. I always forget to ask you that, but you all will tell us, I'm sure. Good morning, Sandra and Marcine. And then there's Brother Blue and the family. How are y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Y'all doing okay, I hope. We're doing pretty good. He's had a rough couple of days with his back, but we're hanging in there. Still grateful for being alive. Still grateful for in him we live, move, and have our being. So we're so happy to have you with us this morning. And all of those who are watching who are not saying anything in the comment section, welcome. Welcome to you. We were at the, you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're talking low like this.
Yeah, I'm okay. I can't tell when I'm talking loud.
Well, you're not talking loud at all.
I'm not.
You know.
Okay.
You're whispering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the way I can't hear.
Good morning, Phyllis and Edward.
Phyllis J. Charles J. Blue. Sandra Lee.
Charles J. and Sandra J.
Hickbar. John Greason. Hickbar Motorcycle Man.
And here comes Leslie. Leslie just popped in here.
Leslie. Got your call.
She's in Richmond. Okay. Very good. I'm glad you're watching us this morning, sweetie.
Can't talk too loud.
We were at the doctor's office for some wellness visits.
And what? We was in what?
At the doctor's office.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we were. I couldn't hear.
Well, just sit there for a minute. Sit there. We were in the doctor's office the other day, and I got a text, a notification from YouTube that someone had commented. There was a new comment, and this was someone from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. From New Zealand, who said she was up at 4 a.m. in the morning, still up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and all of a sudden, our video popped on her screen.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah. And she said she watched it. She said she was so blessed by it, and I'm just grateful that these videos that we do, that they reach people. That's amazing. We never would have had the chance to speak to anybody in New Zealand probably ever.
No.
Without being online.
It would not have happened if we hadn't been online. All of you guys that we meet, most of it, we meet you because you're here online, and the others that we know that was in the church with us, the brick and mortar during that time, they are still with us, they're still faithful.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you for all of the names and the people that go along with the name being on the line this morning.
So let's do this morning. I usually do it at the end, but I think it's worth saying now because we don't know how far these videos are going that we're doing, these sessions. So why don't you do this now? Hit the like button and go ahead and do that right now. Just hit the like button. We don't normally ask you to do it in the beginning of the thing, but let's just do that. If every last one of you would hit the like button, it pushes us up in the algorithm. So we must have moved up in the algorithm somehow for her to for it to pop up on her screen. She wasn't searching for us, and so it showed up. So I'm grateful for that. So hit the like button right now if you would. That would be great. That would be great. You got anything special on your plate this morning?
It comes as we talk.
Yeah, it sure does. I was contemplating all morning, and I always go through this. My mind goes through this Saturday night and Sunday morning struggle of what to say. What do I want to say? And I have a million things going through the mind, and the mind would like to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a reality now that it is in my heart and in my spirit. Good morning, James Kessler.
Mr.
Good morning,
Kessler.
Jill. Good morning to
Miss
you
Jill,
guys.
good
We
to
love you so
see
much.
everybody.
We love you so much. I appreciate all of you. Let's do our what we haven't done in a while. Let's pull ourselves out of the mind and the body for just a little bit. If you're in a spot where there's no distractions, it'll be really, really good. Hopefully you'll be able to do this. And this is where we answer those questions that are not related or relative to our body or our physical existence at all. So if you had no body, if you had no mind, uh, taking all of the things that you believe about yourself away, we're going to answer the questions of what we are as that angelic God presence, that we are inside these bodies and inside these minds, that's actually navigating, orchestrating, actually animating all of the things in this body and mind. So, and actually aware and witnessing all of the conditionings of the mind.
When you find out that as the eternal self and everybody on the earth is an eternal self. Now, a lot of people don't believe in the mind conditioned self, even the conditioning of church, condition of spirituality, condition of religion, condition of Bible scriptures, conditioned, don't know and don't have an idea that they believe or we're convinced that we're only eternal when we get the Spirit of God.
Mm-hmm.
But without the Spirit of God, when you leave your body, whether with or without the Spirit of God, as we call it being in us,
Mm-hmm.
and waking up to this, I no longer consider the Christ to being in me, but being the Christ itself.
Being that, yes.
And the
yes.
eternal self is the Christ of every man, with or without belief.
Yeah. Now, can you hold it for a little bit while
Yeah.
we do this exercise? I really want to do this exercise just to get us all in
that's fine.
mode. If that's okay, unless you have a real burning. If you got a burning message now,
well, you know, if I get started, it's hard
I know
to quit.
once you get started.
Yeah, but I'll stop.
Okay, and I'll try not to make it lengthy.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Leslie, thank you so much. She said she's thankful for us in YouTube. It is it's going around the world. We don't know how fast it's going.
It's
kind of creepy crawly,
magnificent and wonderful to be able to talk to so many people.
It is
at a distance that is not at a distance. If we were online or not, we are still inside of each other by the eternal Spirit.
Now, these questions that we're going to ask are not relative. They don't relate to your body. They don't relate to your feelings. Don't relate to your thoughts, accumulated knowledge, none of that. So you will not be answering it based on anything that your mind is saying, your feelings are saying. And you may have when the questions come forth, you may have some red flags to pop up. Your mind might resist at some point. Okay. So just be aware. This is to find yourself as pure awareness. Okay. Without all of the, stuff that you've accumulated over your lifetime, the conditionings that have placed things upon you that you are not. So this is to kind of figure out and see what you're not. So leave your mind outside, suspend your thoughts about the past and future, everything that might hold you back from being able to answer these questions. And I'm going to start now with this. this that you are, does it have a shape or a size?
That's right.
Remembering it's not a body.
It's not the physical world
It's not
that
the
we're
physical.
talking about. We're talking about the now inside.
So I can say it like this: if you were outside of your body, if you had come outside your body, does it have a shape or a size? And you can type it in the comment section if you want to or not. Does it have any weight? Do you have any weight? Your body might be heavy, but do you have any weight?
Spirit in the womb becomes weight as the body matures around spirit.
Okay.
It carries weight.
Yes. But itself is not weight.
It's weightless.
Yes.
Without the body.
Can it be touched?
Yes.
See, you're going into your teachings.
I'll wait.
Now, why did you say yes? Because you may have confused
I answered
people.
Your question.
You may have confused them. Because if it can be touched, what is that can be touched?
It can be touched with the essence of the physical self. Spirit can be touched when it is allowed to be touched by the physical. And that is what happens when the body is formed around it.
Okay.
Outside of the body, spirit can touch spirit.
Okay.
Inside the body, physical can touch spirit because spirit becomes one with the physical body.
Yes.
Did I clear that up?
Yes, that cleared it up. Yes. Can it be confused? Can you, that is not body or mind or feelings, can it be confused? Does it have fear? Is it male or female? Does it even have a gender? Is it any race? Is it black, white, Asian, Hispanic, or any nationality? Does it have any weight? And you might say it does have weight. Spirit can have weight, can't it? But not in the sense of like the body.
Not in the physical sense until after it comes to be physical in this world.
Right. But there
still remains spirit inside the body.
And isn't there such a thing as a weighty spirit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A spirit that is
it's a mystery what we speak of.
There is.
But mysteries can be understood.
Has it ever been lost or separated from God? That you are, that is not body, not mind, not feelings, has it ever been lost or separated from God?
Some would say
yes.
Yes.
Depending on their understanding, their knowing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought about this morning, how that God has given us the evidence that we are still connected and one with Him no matter what, even in the body. When a woman carries a child for 9 months and gives birth, that child inside her is the same as what we say. We in Him we live, move, and have our being. That child is that living in that woman that way, the mother that way. In her, I live, move, and have my being. But then at some point, I'm born out of her. And when you're born out of her, it's her, it's the mother projecting herself outside herself.
That's right.
It's the same that God has done.
We
are
the children.
Yeah.
Meaning we are the inside of the mother coming to the outside, turning around, looking at her.
She's able. So God birthed us, and He turned around and looked at Himself as us.
What's so amazing about it is that spirit is already inside of the mother and the father and around both of them.
Mm-hmm.
When they come together to conceive a child, that child is actually somewhat conceived like Jesus was in his mother
The
Mary.
immaculate
The same
conception,
procedure,
similar, yes,
but
yes.
it is not amplified because what has happened is that we do that so easy, so pleasantry, we say, and we don't realize that we are creators.
Exactly. Well, we're God projected out from
Yeah,
Himself,
we are
and
creators. That's
so
why
we
we
have every
make
attribute.
babies. We are
We
creators.
have every attribute that God has. The only thing is, once this spirit of life that we are comes into this human body, everything that we can create, but it is temporary and impermanent.
If you
It,
touch this with your mind,
mhm.
you won't be able to conceive what we're saying.
Yeah. So I can create, but everything that I create will not last permanently. Nothing that I create will last permanently in this human existence because this is an illusory world. It is a world it comes into being and then it fades. Everything in this world comes into being and then it fades.
We are one, even though in this world it appears to be two, three, five, four, six,
Mhm,
8, 10.
mhm,
That
mhm.
is the illusion of the ego self,
That is the illusion of this human
this
world.
dimension.
Yeah, this human world.
But if you go to your true identity by actually speaking, saying what we're saying, it's not something you can say is in the Bible or not. This is real. We're talking about life.
And we're really not talking about biblical things at
No,
this point. We're
could be,
talking
but not.
we're talking about you as life and you as that God self that
Yeah,
projected out from God itself. Uh, so you are that God is, and there's nothing you didn't have to do anything to be that.
years ago, years ago, we thought, or the mind thought, that nobody was born of God except for Jesus, or
Mhm,
unless you
mhm.
were born. And even if we were physically born, we never identified with what created the physical body
We never identified ourselves as the
or the
uh,
physical self.
as that came out of God.
Yeah,
We never really
we never think about
identified
that.
ourselves as that.
We always say a dog came out of a dog, a cat out of a cat, a fish, a bird. But we
And
don't think
you
about
just mentioned something that's really important because what if a cat gets pregnant, it has kitty cats.
kittens.
If a dog gets pregnant, it has puppy dogs.
Yeah,
and and birds have baby birds. I
yeah.
mean, so whatever you are, whatever you give birth to, it'll be the same
Elephants don't
as
have
that.
lions, and lions don't have birthday
Exactly. So
elephants.
if we were projected out of God, it's just only common sense to say we must be the same as God.
What is so magnificent? We go into this and we say to our mate, "I'm pregnant." What you're saying is, I am spirit made flesh.
Mm, mm, mm.
I just
That's
made a
that's it.
physical body
That's
out of the invisible. Because before you got pregnant, there was no
it.
baby inside of you, or could it have been?
No physical evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Further, you said 6 months later, I am pregnant. But how did that happen? It didn't
It
happen
doesn't
with
even take
just
look, it doesn't
intimacy.
even take 6 months.
It didn't happen because of sex. Put it like
I
that.
said 6 months.
Six months.
It didn't take 6 months
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's
to
what I'm
find
saying.
out.
Okay. But anyway,
Yeah.
know this. And
So we're
knowing this and seeing and saying this automatically removes you from the physical world and you become
so
spirit.
we are speaking from the mysteries, but we're also speaking beyond the body, beyond the mind. So we're attempting not to change you, but to wake you up to what you already are and what you have always been, even before you had your conversion experience in church or with getting saved and all of that. If you had to go through that ritual, this is what you were before you ever thought about church or any of that. So it is very important that we know and be able to see and understand what we are. This is what we're talking about, what we are. And so you made me think of this, and it's in St. John. You guys have heard this scripture, I don't know how many times, but we're going to just kind of look at it again. And it's the first chapter, the very first verse. He says, in the beginning. This is kind of like the second Genesis. It always started with in the beginning. So this is the second Genesis. In the beginning was the word. Now, in this case, we're not talking about letters or sentences. It's talking about the essence of who Christ is.
Yeah.
And it says, and the word was with God, and the word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. And all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Thank you.
In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what happens at birth.
Wow. Yes. That's us.
That's us.
That's us. And
I wouldn't say this long time. I would say,
I would have been afraid to say it before. Because of our religious conditioning, I would have been afraid to say it. Because,
and the people.
Because I would have thought, well, I'm making myself. I'm diminishing God and making myself bigger than God, and that's impossible.
Yeah.
And it's a scripture that says Jesus didn't think it was robbery to call himself equal with God. He didn't feel like he was robbing God of anything. Once
you settle the dust of the mind.
That settling the dust of the mind. Yep. Are you kidding? How you settle the dust of the mind?
By seeing inside the mystery, the revelation, the true knowing beyond reasoning. In order to see this, the dust of the earth is the physical body formed inside of us.
I thought about
by our spirit.
Yeah. I thought about when we say this cliche, let the dust settle.
Yeah.
Let the dust settle.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to let the dust settle? I have to stop messing with it and just let it settle.
Stop messing with it.
But
mess with it from a different perspective.
How you do that? Don't mess with it. But
and that's what we're doing now. How you do that?
Mess with it, but don't mess with it.
What we're doing now, what we're talking about now, is messing with the dust in the sense of creation of ourselves.
Still,
we're letting it settle. If we come to a conclusion.
Well, the only way to settle the dust of the mind is to let it settle. And let means allow it to settle. You allow it to settle by freeing yourself from it in the sense of distancing yourself from it. And gosh, I wish I could explain this because I can see it so clearly. Go ahead.
The lie is when somebody tell a lie, that's a symbolic to
that's dust
in the air.
Yeah, that's dust.
You won't let the dust settle.
Yeah.
But when you say, okay, I see now the truth of this, I can see what you're saying. I can understand what Sawyer is saying. Oh, now the dust is settling. You say something is not settled until I taste it.
Okay, I got it now. Okay. I got it. Okay. Like I was walking this morning.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, I always do my contemplation when I'm walking. But I said, I heard Spirit ask me, what do you want? And I said,
we often hear people say, I just made a baby.
Yeah.
That's letting the dust settle.
Oh, okay. You'll have to explain that in a minute. But anyway, I was walking and so I came to the awareness. I said, okay.
Yeah.
I am filled with love.
Yeah, I am.
I'm filled with love, and I have challenges,
Yep.
but the challenges don't have a whole lot of importance. I'm filled with so much of the love, and I realize I am that love until I'm able to face the challenges without frustration all the time. Sometimes there is. So that acceptance of what is settling the dust.
Everything that God is as eternal spirit, and finding that out will cause us to take note of being the same thing that God is as spirit. What I base that on is there's no such thing as the spirit self dying. We get a definition of dying when we say you're going to die and go to hell. No, you're going to die and find your eternal self in a different place.
But and let's change the wording of that.
Yeah.
We don't die.
That's right.
But
we, the spirit, eternal self, don't die.
But like I said,
that's a God class.
Everything that we create, let me go back up, rewind.
Boy, this is good.
Rewind.
I think it is.
When a child is made.
Yeah. We are made.
Yeah, we're creating that, right?
Yeah,
we're creating that. And that child, whatever, and I'll go back to what I said prior. If we are creators.
Yes.
However, in this dimension that we are in, this earth existence that we're in, everything that we create comes into being and then fades.
Yeah. We're doing it while we're sitting here talking to you.
Even the children that we birth, they come into being and then they fade.
Yes.
We came into being and then we fade as humans.
Yeah.
However, that brought us into being never fades.
Is what?
That brought this into being never fades.
Okay.
That brought this.
That brought
physical.
This. Not this, but that brought this.
That brought this physical and this mind and this emotional psyche into being never fades. It's permanent. That is the only permanent thing.
This is called signs, wonders, and miracles.
So we're really discovering our permanent identity is what we're doing.
The name that you use to come online with this morning is not your real self.
No, that's the name that was given.
That was a name that was given to the physical. Mm-hmm. But before the name was given to the physical, you had no name except for what you agreed to in heaven before you came to earth, that when you get here, you're going to allow your mother and father to give you a name. So what you are now is what your creating self gave.
Would you think that's why God changed names in the Bible? Saul became Paul, and there are others whose names were changed.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's the permanent identity is one that doesn't go away. And we talked about this with some of our friends yesterday who dropped by, how that in our earthly existence, when we come into this earth as spirit and light beings entering these bodies, and these bodies come forth, then we begin to believe we are this body. And the conditions that we were under shaped how we see ourselves, shaped how we see life. And some of us are having to go back and recondition.
That's what we do, huh?
Recondition how we see ourselves.
That's the clue to waking up to your true identity.
Yes. And a belief, I think I put it in here. A belief is a thought that has become a law in my mind.
And being this has nothing to do with church. It would have something to do with church if they would talk about it. Even if they don't talk about it, they are a creation of each other coming together as finite beings in a particular place that we decided through creating others, each other, to have what is called a gathering. But the gathering itself, see, what happened is the mind went to sleep. It was sleep and woke up thinking that what made it was itself as a physical being, but it didn't. It was made from that invisible self, which we have always been before we was conceived inside of a physical being.
Before these bodies were made.
Yeah.
Because when we say before I was conceived, the thought is that I didn't come into being until then. But I was always existing in the mind of God, as the mind of God, as a part of God. And so I existed, and therefore I didn't begin in the womb.
That's right. We didn't begin. Jeremiah 1:5, if you read it, it will tell you exactly what we said.
So we talked about Little Clifton and all of this, and Little Antoinette, all of the things that we as children went through. What part of us did it shape? It didn't shape what we are, that we were or are before we came into this physical existence, but it did shape a part of us, and that is the way we process things with our mind. It shaped how we see and how we hear, all of that.
What is the definition of death? Okay, here it is. When you, the eternal self, leave the body. Now remember, you were eternal before you knew anything about church religion being saved. Please go in what is that? Luke, the 16th chapter. Luke will tell you that. And if you're going to read in the Bible, the 16th chapter, Luke talk about the rich man and Lazarus. They both had physical bodies. One was sick, and there was a dog that was physical that laid at the door of the beggar. But moreover, the dog was his name.
Moreover.
Okay, moreover.
Now, Jill, hold on for a second, sweetheart. Jill said her connection is unstable. Anybody out there still having that problem as well? Please let me know that you're out here and you're hearing us and everything's going well. Let us know.
Please let us know.
So talking about this permanent identity, it is that part of us that was not born. And that goes back to the question.
Was not what?
Was not born.
That's right. But
and will never die.
It was us.
It is us.
We have always been one identity spirit with or without. We say it like this. We say, I didn't know God until I got saved. Right. I beg your pardon. Right. You didn't know God?
You might not have known God, but God knew you.
Jeremiah 1:5 said, before he was formed in the belly, we knew him. And for him to be known before formed in the belly had to be spirit.
Okay. Now, Dee Dee's coming in. She said, YouTube is fine. I don't know what's happening with Facebook. We're on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm not sure, guys. If you're on Facebook and you're having a problem, switch over to YouTube, okay? Switch over to YouTube. It's probably better anyway, if you can. Those of you who may be having trouble, if you're having trouble with your connection or whatever, switch over to YouTube.
Let us know. All of you, give us a feedback as to whether you can hear us or not, okay?
Whether you're coming through, yeah. Let us know. We're going to continue teaching. So
okay, we'll wait to get the response from you.
Go back. If you're not watching us now, you may be able to go back.
Because we don't want to waste this.
See, some of us saying Facebook is fine. Facebook is doing okay. So it may be something on your end, sweetie. Okay. It may be something on your end. Okay. So anyway, I'm glad. Thank you guys for responding.
Thank you.
And let us know what do you feel about what we're talking about this morning. Give us a little shout out for that.
Yeah, please do.
Because we've been kind of just running off at the mouth. And
when you give shout out back to us, it is your physical body expressing the conversation of the eternal spirit before body was created. Remember, go back in the book and read Jeremiah 1:5 and take your time and meditate on it, because you're going to find out that you were in your eternal self. You were never created and can never die. So that means everybody that leave their body, whether they with God or not with God, believing this or not, it doesn't make any
It
difference.
doesn't make a
But
difference.
believing in your true self as spirit of God will cause you to relocate yourself in a different place with him or without the awareness.
Thanks, you guys, for letting us know. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you. Now, look, what do you know about yourself that is not relative to your body or your feelings or your thoughts or anything else that was accumulated in your life? What do you know about yourself that isn't related to your job, isn't related? We asked our friend that yesterday. What do you know about yourself that isn't related to your job, and it has nothing to do with how you feel and or what has happened to you in your past, or what do you know about yourself that is none of that? And this is where we go into the I ams. When we say the I ams, that I am that you are is not any of that.
I remember going to a particular funeral of somebody that you knew and grew up with. I was at the church, walked around a little bit, looked at people. I had no idea that when I got home somewhere in the night or in the day, I looked back over. I deliberately sat down and would meditate, looking back over the procedure or the procession. I looked at the family proceeding in the building with the pastor repeating the book of Psalms. I looked and I saw a light being amongst the family. And I wondered, who was this? And it was revealed to me that the deceased was walking with the family when they came into church.
And yet his body was laying up in front of the church in the casket.
Now, does that explain it? That's really easy.
And it's kind of, then last night when I was reading to you before you went to sleep, I was reading about near-death experiences. And there was this lady, I can't remember her name, but she had a near-death experience. She came out of her body in the hospital, and she saw a shoe on a ledge.
Yeah.
And the shoe had the shoe was untied and the string was under the heel of it, and the toe was worn out.
Yeah.
So when she came back into her body, she told this person, I don't know who it was she was talking to. It was someone in the hospital that worked there. It might have been the doctor, I'm not sure. She told them what she saw when she came out of her body.
Yeah.
And so of course, this person went looking to see if he could find that shoe. And then lo and behold, Pastor Norman, she found that shoe. That shoe was actually on the ledge. And she realized that the only way that woman that died could have seen it is if she had come out over top of that shoe and gone around the side of that ledge.
Yeah.
And so just like you said, we are not restricted to these bodies.
There was a preacher that two times, maybe three, maybe more, but at least two times I remember. I was in a service and they were having it at the YMCA in Greensboro. My pastor mentor was preaching. And while I was preaching, I drifted off into that in between here and the other side.
Hypnagogic state.
Yeah, the hypnagogic state.
Yes.
And I left my body. I literally left my body and saw myself leaving the body, sitting there, body, watched the whole thing, and I went up through the ceiling. And when I went up through the ceiling, I saw myself go up. I saw it. And when I landed on a cloud in the sky.
A solid cloud.
Solid. So solid that even spirit made noise.
He's told these things so many times. I know how to tell it myself.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I can.
And I landed on this place in the sky, and my feet, my spirit essence, hit the cloud and said, bump. It bumped solid. And when I bumped, I saw myself look over the opening where I came through, back down to the top of the building, inside the building, and I looked around and I saw a lady on my right who had a dark circle spot in her body, and it was an infection in her bladder kidney area.
Yeah, ended up later we found out that she had cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I seen this. I saw this. I say, and I come back and I told her about it. That what I saw.
Well,
they paid attention.
Well, and this is the thing, as in the prophetic and the mystical aspect, we still were not. We were still perfecting that.
Yeah.
And so you saw it as a dark spot in her pocketbook.
Oh, this was another one you talked about. Yeah.
No, well, it's the same one.
Pastor Williams' church over in Thomasville.
Either way,
I remember
it's the same lady.
Yeah, yeah.
And you interpreted it as that.
Yeah.
But it was in fact her bladder, and
it was something
found
inside
out later
That's
that
right.
she
That's right.
yeah.
A body.
So in the point made is that you are beyond this body. Yep. I've had out of body experience twice, and I have to admit, the first time I had it, it scared me.
Hey, there used to be a movie come on, a series called The Outer Limits.
Yeah. And I remember laying in bed, we were both asleep, and I remember being awake, but I was up high in the room.
Yeah.
And I remember moving out into the hallway of the house we were living in at the time. And we had another dog named Bernie. Bernie slept in the hallway on a cushion. And I remember, and we had a kerosene heater.
Yeah.
I remember. And I remember going past that kerosene heater and looking at Bernie. And I was up over top of Bernie. I was up over top of him, and he actually looked up at me.
Yeah.
He looked up at me.
Yeah. They can see spirit.
And it was at that moment I realized I'm out of my body.
Yeah.
And at that, when I got scared, I went right back.
That's what. Now, when I was on that cloud, I looked over. I remember hearing myself say, "Boy, it's a long way from up here down there." And when I said that, boom, I come back into my body.
Yeah.
That quick.
I remember a story of this woman who was in, I can't remember what event it was, but a bomb went off. And when it went off, she, of course, had moved to an area where it didn't damage her.
Yes.
But the blast and all of the things that took place knocked her out of her body.
Yeah.
She came out of her body, and at that point realized she was not her body.
Yeah.
But that she had, when she went back into her body, she realized the body is the garment that I wear. I am here in this humanness, this human existence, but I am not this human existence. And so sometimes we have those kinds of things happen to let us know that we are beyond these bodies and minds.
Yeah, giving birth to children, each of us, is the fulfilling of what it said, spirit becoming flesh.
So if I didn't begin in the womb, and all of those things that happened to me from that point up to now are simply occurrences in this human dimension, this earthly existence that we're in, this is all very impermanent. So they don't carry, it should not carry a whole lot of weight. Or importance to us, because at some point we will exit this. And when we do, none of it will be relevant.
When you see this, you'll understand what it means to be and have the expression of God.
Yes.
And that is something you can argue with all day long, but you cannot wipe this out. And only through the dust that won't settle in your mind.
Now, I do know this, that some of us, everybody doesn't relate to the same God.
That's true. They still don't change them.
And well, I'll say it like this too. The God that I thought I knew 50 years ago is not the same God that I thought I knew.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
my understanding,
Your inner formation
my
has changed.
my understanding of God has evolved.
Yeah.
To the point that I know now God is not punishing, God is not upset with people, God is not in an emergency state. No matter what we're going through, God is not in an emergency state. And God is not looking at this that we're going through and getting really, really upset about what we're going through.
Remember, I used to say, to talk to God is to talk to myself. To talk to myself, my real self, is to talk to God. And that's going on inside of us.
So in the beginning of my life, I thought God was way out here somewhere, the man upstairs.
Yeah.
And I had to somehow connect with that man upstairs. And I didn't know any other way to connect with that man upstairs except to go to church.
Yeah.
And then try to do right.
And get saved.
I tried to do right.
Yeah.
And then there was a point in my life where I went to a church where they said, God can live inside of you. And I said, oh, okay. That's so funny. I received God inside myself. Yeah. And now God is in me. Yeah. But God was still remote. Even though I knew God was in me, God was still remote. So my understanding of God has evolved drastically, because now I'm no longer even saying the God in me.
Yeah.
Because I know God is as me.
Yeah.
Or I am as God. And so the understanding and awareness of God has changed. It's changed and evolved.
Understanding this is what I told a man and his wife that was standing in the driveway yesterday, that when you hug each other and hold each other, that is God.
That is God
informed in us.
And
hugging himself.
And we made an agreement that we would hug every day, and we would hug first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And if we forgot, because you know how life will interrupt you, well, if you forget, we always, once we remember, one of us remembers, we do it immediately.
Yeah.
No matter where we are and what we're doing, we stop and we do that.
That's right. And that is real.
And what it has done, it has kept the love between us very current.
We stir it up deliberately.
Yeah.
We're saying, I'm going to make the awareness of God identity as one that we are, stir up by hugging each other and relaxing. Yeah. You'd be surprised as to the mystical.
And not rushing the hug.
No.
It's not one of these. It's not one of those.
We tried that. That don't work. You got to slow things down now. You got to slow that death down.
But I have to say this because there are some who have no mate and they've lost their mate.
Now you can grab your sister.
And they need that. They
or your children the same way.
Well, but they may not have anyone around.
That's right.
But there is such a thing as falling back into the arms of God and allowing God to hug
be your mate.
God, and you called it the kiss of God.
Oh,
the kiss of God.
Kiss
to allow God to
that's right.
Comfort you.
Yes.
And bring
glory,
you
hallelujah.
Yeah.
Glory be to God. Glory be to us. Glory be to the I am self.
Yes. So
who we are.
If I would ask you, what is now your concept of God? What is now your concept of God? Where is God in relation to you? Where is God relative to you?
This is what we call.
Who is God?
This is what we call the truth of the definition of coming to Jesus.
Yes, and there's a very well-known spiritual teacher, or sage, you call him, Rupert Spira, who has taught for years non-duality, who has taught for years the Eastern Advaita, Gita, excuse me. And he said he started out in his younger age as a boy in church as Christian. I think it was Episcopalian or something like that. And he kind of got away from it and studied the Eastern religions. came into an awakening experience, and now he's gone through all of that, and he's come full circle right back. He said for years he would not even use the word God
Okay.
in his sessions.
Yes.
Because people who had gone into spirituality, who were unchurched, didn't like that religious sound or that religious word, and so he refused to use it. And so that's when they started to teach the awareness and all of that. And so here we are. He's coming all the way around, full circle, and now he says he's only reading the Christian mystics.
Yeah.
And he's frequenting the word God more and more. And now he's beginning to even experience the presence of God in his sessions.
There's the book in front of us on our table, and the title of this book is What the Mystics Know.
Yes. Yes.
And what we're saying to you now is what the mystics that we are, the mystic that we are, you are
yes.
finding out.
Yes.
Now, it don't mean that you have to go around and tell everybody this, but it is absolutely awesome to find this out and be so relaxed with it that you don't have to try to prove it. See, there's a place in the walk of oneness with God where you are not obligated to witness to anybody except for being in the presence of them and them and you. It's a knowing that gives you rest. Yes. It is a knowing of knowing and seeing who it is that is the knower of all mystical truth about humanity, self, spirit. It is the way that you really find out that God is not someone somewhere else at another place at another time. He is the present moment of all of us.
Yes, he is.
Hallelujah.
Yes,
Glory. Where did we get this from? I'll tell you the
Yes.
truth. Woo! I see.
Just put your arms around yourself if you can.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And say to yourself, I love you. I love you.
I'm so glad we find and see.
And I am filled
what you really are
with all that God is. I am filled.
Yeah, I didn't think about doing that. That's true. Oh,
I am
God,
filled, and now as that that I am the essence of God. Lord. I feel this body. Lord. I feel this body. I flood this body with the presence of God.
I see where
I
you
flood
are.
this body with the healing power.
I know where you are.
And of love and of God. I flood this mind and put it at rest. I arrest it.
Yes.
That I am. I arrest the thoughts, the onslaught of the thoughts. Awesome. I arrest all of the thoughts that are bombarding this mind and give it peace. As that I am, I speak to my feelings, the feelings that come in this psyche, this soulish part of this body, the soulish part of this unit. I speak to it and I say, be at peace. Peace be still.
Yes.
Peace be still.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
The awareness of beingness for everyone that's listening to us online this morning. Your touch is the touch of awareness, consciousness, pure consciousness of the truth, that the dust be settled. I know exactly what street God lives on, what kind of car he drives, what he wears, and the job that he works at. Formed in flesh, I find you to be the eternal Christ in everybody I meet. No religion is involved. No confessions, negative or positive confessing. No one goes beyond faith and becomes fact. This that we speak about you, we know to be the real truth.
Anoint our eyes. Anoint our eyes to see you here as us. Anoint our eyes to see when we meet others, who we are meeting.
Yes.
Anoint our eyes to see through
Yes.
the events that we encounter. Anoint our eyes to see clearly
Yes.
how you're leading and guiding, how you're navigating. Anoint our eyes so we will have clear vision.
Yes. Dreaming and sleep is another way that spirit takes a break from the mind and the physical
Mhm.
and get
Mhm.
over into the
Mhm.
world, the taste of where it was formed from.
And right now, my heart is so full.
Huh?
My heart is so full.
Yes.
It's so full.
Thank you.
So full. It's so full.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, we've had a session this morning.
Me and you have had a session. I hope you've had a
Ah, I hope you guys
session. We
have
had our session.
the taste. You know, I woke up one night, one morning,
Mm.
and I heard myself talking to the voice of water inside of me.
Mm.
I heard the conversation discuss. I had a chance to meet water, and water
Yeah.
began to talk to me again, like it did when we were trying to stop the water from coming under the house.
Mhm.
Water told me how to fix it so it would not be a threat or damage to the house.
So now I've made my creek beds, and so
Yeah, you got
I've given
some of you
water.
guys got to come by
I've
here
given
and look
water
at the
free
creek bed
flow.
that she made around the house. It is absolutely real places for water to flow. I wish we had a way of making water flow through it all the time. It's wonderful. So wonderful
It
to hear
is. It
and to see
is.
when it rains. We go out with the umbrella and look at the water flowing down the creek bed
It's
from
so
the
it's so
sidewalk.
relaxing. Just watch it, and
Yeah.
nature. And I've said this before. A lot of times when the mind is really, really, really busy,
Yes.
getting in nature helps to settle the dust.
Yes,
as
it
you say.
does.
It helps to settle the dust.
And the dust is settled when you understand what really truth is beyond words and
Mhm.
statements.
Mhm.
Truth is what we're made out of
Yes, it is.
as
It is.
the no dying self.
Mhm. Oliver,
Thank you.
I saw you come in, Ollie. Love you guys. We love you
Thank
guys.
you.
We love all of you. We thank you for spending this hour with us.
If you didn't hear what we're teaching, go back after we sign off and look at it again, this session, and listen to us talking.
I gotta tell you something funny. You made me remember it. I
Mhm.
know my sister wouldn't mind me saying it. She said last week while we were on live, she logged in and I saw her come in and she was on her laptop and my brother-in-law was on his laptop, I guess, and they put it on TV.
Mhm.
And somehow or other, they ended up watching an old video that we had done way back
Okay.
and thought they were watching us live.
Oh.
She said you had your arm in a sling.
Oh,
And she
wow.
said, Oh, she said that is just not the right one. So you made me think about it when I talked to them and she told me what happened. I said, now you got to go back to church. You know how you get to 6 o'clock service?
Uh-huh.
I said, you got to go to 6 o'clock service and catch up now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was when I had the shoulder
When you had your shoulder replacement.
replaced in
Yeah.
my left arm.
We love you guys. We are planning to be back on Tuesday as usual at 7 p.m. Don't forget to express your abundance by giving.
Yeah.
Express your abundance by giving. That's the only way you can express
Yeah.
abundance is by giving.
That's right. Please, we need your help. If we're not going to deny it, we need your help. And some of you have already responded.
Yes.
And we're asking you to keep responding.
Thank you.
And those that have not, we ask that you, if you would, please, with the grace of God, send something to help us keep going. And we appreciate, first of all, we appreciate you being online with us.
Yeah.
But the gifts that you give help us keep going.
And don't forget to give your tithes and offerings to Cornerstone itself. You can do that by texting to CLC Greensboro to 73256, or you can go to paypal.me/cornerstone35. Or if you want, you can mail it in to P.O. Box 36259, Greensboro, North Carolina 27416. And there's always the website, the Cornerstone Life Center. You can just go there and hit the donate button. It's really simple. That's the way I do it. And when you want to bless Pastor and myself, you can do Cash App $ A Sawyer C. It's right there on your screen. And Jill has already put it in the comment section. I think that you will listen to the Spirit of God inside yourself regarding your giving. I think you will. I know it's easy to watch a video and not give. I've done it myself with others. But it is good to at least honor what you've heard if it's blessed you with your substance. And we love you. We thank you for all of the cash apps that you've sent us. And we will see you on Tuesday at 7.
Okay.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.